Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about small talk. Do you know what small talk is? It's a kind of conversation, but it's not too serious. Small talk is for exchanging simple ideas that we use it to break the silence, connect with people, or make new friends. It's like saying, "Hey, I see you, let's talk about something light." Imagine this, you're meeting someone for the first time. Maybe it's at a party, in the office, or even waiting for a train. What do you say? You don't know them well yet, so you probably won't start with your life story. Instead, you begin with something simple. For example, "Hi, how's it going?" or "Beautiful weather today, isn't it?" These short, friendly lines are part of small talk. Small talk happens everywhere, in shops, cafes, elevators, buses, parks, or even in line at the grocery store. Think about when you go to a coffee shop to order coffee. You might say to the barista, "Busy day for you guys," or "Wow, it smells good in here." These little comments are small talk. They make the world a friendlier place. So why does small talk matter? Well, it's important because it helps us build connections. Human connections matter a lot, don't you think? Even a short chat can make you feel happier or more comfortable, and for English learners like you, small talk is a perfect chance to practice. It gives you quick, simple sentences to say aloud that it doesn't require long thinking or complicated grammar. If you're new to small talk, it may feel hard at first. Maybe you think, "What should I say? Will the other person understand me? What if I make a mistake?" These thoughts are totally normal. Don't worry. Many people feel shy, including native English speakers. You're not alone. Small talk feels awkward at first, but practice makes it easier. Here's something important, small talk doesn't have to be perfect. Even native speakers make mistakes. For example, someone might accidentally say, "How's weather today?" instead of, "How's the weather today?" It's okay. The goal of small talk isn't to show perfect grammar. The goal is to communicate and connect, so don't be too hard on yourself. Let's take a real-life example. Imagine your neighbor is outside watering the plants. You walk by and you could say, "Hi, the garden looks great." This small compliment might lead to more conversation. Maybe the neighbor will smile and say, "Thank you. I've been working on it a lot." Then you can ask, "Oh, what kind of flowers are these?" Now you've started a conversation. Great job. Sometimes when you're learning English, you might worry about what other people think. It's natural to feel this way. You might think, "What if they laugh at my accent? What if they think my English is bad?" But here's a secret, most people appreciate the effort. They will respect you for trying to speak and connect. In fact, many people will want to help you. If you are learning, everyone starts somewhere. Even native speakers weren't born talking perfectly. They learn too. When you try, you show courage, and that's amazing. Every word you say, every sentence you practice, brings you closer to fluency. Think of small talk as a workout for your English skills. Short, light conversations help build a stronger speaking muscle. Another great thing about small talk is that it's often repetitive. People use the same sentences again and again. For example, "Hi there, how are you?" "I'm good, thanks." "How about you?" or "Lovely day, isn't it?" Yeah, It's beautiful. These are phrases you'll hear often. If you can learn a few key lines, like greetings or weather comments, you'll be ready for many situations, and the best part, you don't need to remember long speeches, just a few words are enough to get started. For example, let's practice now. Imagine you're at a bus stop. Someone stands beside you. You want to talk, what could you say? You could try, "The buses are really slow today, aren't they?" This shows you're open to chatting. The other person might reply, "Yeah, they really are. I hope it comes soon." Just like that, you're having a conversation. Or imagine you're in an elevator. It's quiet, and someone is standing next to you. This can feel awkward sometimes. To break the silence, you could smile and say, "This elevator is fast, huh?" It's a simple comment, but who knows where the conversation might lead. Maybe you'll find out you work in the same building or you like the same coffee shop. Remember, small talk is not about being perfect, it's about being friendly. Being friendly matters more than grammar or vocabulary. For example, if you say, "Nice day, isn't," instead of, "Nice day, isn't it," it's still okay, the person will understand your meaning. Conversations are not grammar tests, they're about connection. Sometimes, people might just smile and not reply much. That's okay too. Maybe they're shy or they don't feel like talking. It's not about you. Don't take it personally. The important thing is that you tried. Not everyone will want to chat, and that's normal. Here's a tip: watch how native speakers use small talk. Pay attention in movies, TV shows, or real life. What do they say when they meet someone new? Listen for patterns, common phrases, and topics, then try to copy these phrases in your own conversations. Think of it as learning through observation. Let's practice some simple phrases now, just to get you started. Hi, how are you? Wow, it's so cold today. Lovely weather we're having, isn't it? Do you come here often? What a long line. Do you think it'll move fast? Small talk topics are usually simple. Avoid heavy topics like politics or personal problems. Instead, stay light. Talk about the weather, the scene around you, or even a compliment. For example, "I love your bag. Where did you get it?" People love compliments, and they can lead to fun conversations. Now here's your challenge for today: try small talk with one new person. It could be someone at work, school, or even a friendly shopkeeper. Just say something simple like, "Hello, how's your day going?" Don't overthink it. You're practicing, and that's what matters most. Finally, don't forget to relax. Small talk is meant to be fun and casual. Enjoy it. You're not just improving your English. You're building relationships, learning about culture, and becoming more confident. Every word you say helps you grow a little more. Part 2, welcome back. Let's keep exploring how to use small talk in your daily life. By now, you know that small talk is simple, light, and a great way to practice your English, but where do you start? What should you say first? Don't worry, we'll figure it out together. Every conversation begins with a greeting. This is like opening the door to talk in English. There are many ways to greet someone. You can say, "Hi," or "Hello." These are very common and simple. If you want to add more, you can say, "Hi, how are you?" or "Hello, how's it going? When someone greets you, don't panic. You can answer in a few words, I'm good, thanks. How about you? Or, I'm doing well, thanks for asking. These are polite ways to reply. Even if you're not feeling great, it's okay to say, I'm okay, thanks. Small talk is about being polite and positive, so keep it light. Let's think about where you might use a greeting. Maybe you're in an office, walking past a coworker. You could say, morning, how's everything? That's a casual way to start small talk. Or imagine you're at a cafe. The barista smiles at you. You could say, hi, busy morning. See how easy that is? It's just one sentence, and you've started a friendly chat. After a greeting, what's next? A good topic. Small talk doesn't have to be about anything big. Start with what's around you. Look around. Is the sun shining? Is it raining? Talk about it. The weather is one of the most common small talk topics, especially in English-speaking countries. For example, you can say, it's so hot today, isn't it? Or, wow, it's been raining all day. These are safe, easy comments. The person might reply, yeah, it's very hot today, or, I know, I wish it would stop raining. Then, you've already started a conversation. Good job. If you're inside and the weather isn't a good topic, try something else. Talk about what's happening. For example, if you're in a long line at the grocery store, you can say, wow, this line is so long today, or, they're so busy, aren't they? The other person will probably agree, and then you can keep talking. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if I run out of things to say? This can happen, but that's okay. A great way to keep the conversation going is to ask simple questions. For example, do you live around here? Do you come here often? What do you like to do on weekends? Asking questions shows that you're interested in the other person. It also makes the conversation flow naturally. People usually enjoy talking about themselves, so when you ask questions, it makes them feel good. Let's practice together. Imagine you're at a gym. Someone is using the treadmill next to you. After your greeting, you could ask, do you work out here often? Or, how long have you been coming to this gym? These questions are easy introductions, and they fit the situation. Another tip is to listen carefully. Small talk is not just about speaking, it's also about listening. When the other person talks, focus on their words. Nod your head or say, to show you're listening. If they mention something interesting, ask more about it. For example, if they say, I love traveling, you can ask, oh really, where have you traveled to? Listening makes people feel valued, and it helps you think of new things to say. Plus, the more you listen, the more English you learn. You'll hear how native speakers phrase things, which words they use, and how they change their tone. This will help you improve your speaking skills in the long run. Sometimes, though, small talk doesn't go as planned. Maybe the other person doesn't respond much. Maybe they give one-word answers, like, yeah, or no. If this happens, don't feel bad. It's not your fault. Some people are shy, busy, or simply not in the mood to talk. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Just smile and move on. Now, let's talk about another important part of small talk, your tone of voice and body language. These matter just as much as your words, even if your English isn't perfect. A warm tone and friendly smile can make all the difference. When you speak, try to sound relaxed and happy. Don't rush your words. Speak slowly and clearly, this makes it easier for others to understand you. And remember to smile, a smile shows you're friendly and open. People are more likely to talk to someone who looks approachable. Your body language also tells a story. Stand up straight, but don't look stiff. Face the person you're talking to and make eye contact. These small actions show confidence. If you're nervous, that's okay. Just do your best. Confidence comes with practice. Now, let's talk about mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning, so don't let them stop you. For example, you might accidentally say the wrong word. Maybe you say, "It's a snowy day," when it's actually sunny. What can you do? Smile. Smile and laugh it off. You can say, "Oh, silly me. I meant sunny." Most people will laugh with you, not at you. Mistakes often make conversations memorable. They show you're human, and nobody expects you to be perfect. In fact, if you laugh at your own mistakes, it shows confidence, so when you mess up, remember it's no big deal. Every mistake teaches you something new. As we wrap up this part, here's a quick challenge for you. Think about someone you see often. Maybe it's a neighbor, a coworker, or the cashier at your favorite shop. The next time you see them, start with a greeting. Say, "Hi, how are you?" Or, if it's easier, comment on something simple, like, "Wow, it's so cold today, isn't it?" Just one sentence, you can do it. Remember, every small conversation helps you grow. Say, "Hi, how are you?" Or, if it's easier, comment on something simple, like, "Wow, it's so cold today, isn't it?" Just one sentence, you can do it. Remember, every small conversation helps you grow. Small talk isn't about being perfect, it's about being friendly. Every hello, every question, every little chat brings you closer to fluency. So smile, say hi, and keep practicing. You're doing an amazing job, and I'm so proud of you. Part 3, we've talked about greetings, topics, and how to use body language. Now let's dive into some specific situations where small talk happens. Knowing how to handle these situations will make you feel more confident in your conversations. Imagine you're at a party. Parties can be a little scary because there are so many people. You might feel nervous or unsure about who to talk to, but guess what? Most people feel the same way. Starting a conversation might be easier than you think. At a party, you can begin with something simple. For example, if you're meeting someone for the first time, you could say, "Hi, your name, what's your name?" If you've already met them, you could say, "Hi, nice to see you again. How have you been?" These are polite and friendly openers. After the introduction, what's next? Look around the room. Is there music playing? Is there food on the table? You can comment on these things. For example, "The music is great, isn't it?" Or, "This cake looks amazing. Have you tried it yet?" These light comments can spark a conversation. What if the party is for a special event, like a birthday or wedding? You can use the event as your topic. For example, at a birthday party, you could say, "Wow, the decorations are so nice. Did you help set them up?" Or at a wedding, you might say, "The bride looks so beautiful, doesn't she?" These comments are positive and help you connect with others. Now, let's switch to another place where small talk happens often: workplaces. If you're working in an office or with a team, small talk is very common. It helps build relationships with your coworkers and makes the workplace more enjoyable. When you see a coworker in the morning, greet them with a smile. You could say, "Good morning. Did you have a good weekend?" Or, "Hello, how's your day going so far?" These are casual, friendly ways to start small talk at work. Lunchtime is another great opportunity for small talk. Imagine you're sitting with a colleague in the break room. You could ask, "What did you bring for lunch today?" Or, "Do you have a favorite cafe around here?" These questions are light and easy to answer. They also show that you're interested in the other person. Workplaces are also full of shared experiences, like meetings or projects. You can use these as small talk topics too. After a meeting, you could say, "That discussion was interesting, wasn't it?" Or if you're working on a project, you can ask, "How's your part of the project coming along?" These questions are simple, and they also keep things professional. Now, let's move to another situation: public transportation. Buses, subways, and trains are common places where small talk happens. But remember, not everyone wants to talk, especially during busy mornings, so always start by saying something light and friendly. For example, if the bus is late, you could say, "The bus is taking a long time today, isn't it?" Or if it's very crowded, you might joke, "Looks like everyone decided to take the bus today." These kinds of comments are easy for people to reply to, and they fit the situation. If the other person seems interested, you can continue the conversation. You could ask, "Do you take this route often?" Or, "Do you live nearby?" These questions are polite and show that you're interested in talking. Remember, if the person doesn't respond much, don't push. Just smile and let it go. Now, let's talk about another everyday place: shops and cafes. When you're shopping, there are many chances to use small talk. For example, when you're paying at the counter, you might say to the cashier, "You guys are busy today, huh?" Or, if you're in a cafe, you could say to the barista, "Your coffee always smells so good." These small comments brighten someone's day and give you a chance to practice. If you see someone browsing the same aisle as you in a store, you could say, "That's a great brand. I've tried it before. Have you?" Or, "Wow, the prices are really good today." These comments are light and friendly. They don't feel like pressure, just casual conversation. Let's not forget about parks or outdoor spaces. These are lovely places for small talk, especially when the weather is nice. Imagine you're sitting on a park bench and someone is sitting nearby. You could say, "It's such a beautiful day, isn't it?" Or, if they have a dog, you might say, "Your dog is so cute. What's its name?" People love talking about their pets, so this is always a great way to start a conversation. Here's another outdoor example. Imagine you're taking a walk and you see someone running or exercising. You could say, "You're fast. How long have you been running?" Or, "I wish I had the energy to run like that." These kinds of comments are fun, and they show you're paying attention in a friendly way. Now, let's talk about ending a small talk conversation. This part is also important. You don't want to leave the conversation too suddenly, or it might feel awkward. Instead, try ending with a polite phrase. For example, it was nice talking to you. Have a great day. Or, well, I should get going. Take care. Or, I'll see you around. Goodbye. These phrases close the conversation politely. They let the other person know that you're leaving. But you enjoyed the chat. A friendly smile or wave can also help end the talk on a positive note. As we finish this part, here's another practice challenge for you. Think about different places where you go during the day. Maybe it's your office, the bus stop, or your favorite cafe. For each place, think of one small talk topic you could use. For example, at the cafe, you might say, "This place is always busy, isn't it?" Or at the bus stop, you could comment on the weather, "Looks like it's going to rain later." Practice these phrases in your mind, then use one of them when you're out and about. Small talk gets easier every time you try it. Don't be afraid to take the first step. Part 4. By now, you know so many ways to start small talk, from greetings and weather to simple questions. You're becoming more confident with each step. In this part, we'll focus on topics you can talk about in different countries and cultures. Small talk can be a little different depending on where you are. Let's explore this together. When you travel to a new place, small talk changes a little bit. This is because every culture has its own ideas about what is polite or friendly. For example, in some countries, people love to talk about the weather. In the UK, this is a very common small talk topic. You can say, "It's such a lovely day, isn't it?" Or, "So much rain lately." People will often smile and reply. But in other countries, weather might not be the easiest topic. For example, in places where it's always warm, people don't talk about the weather as much. Instead, they might talk about food, family, or local events. If you're not sure what to say, watch how local people interact. What do they talk about when they meet? This can help you choose the right topics. Another thing to consider is personal space and touch. In some cultures, people might stand very close to each other when they talk. In others, they prefer to stand further apart. This is not about being rude, it's just different. Preferences. If you're talking to someone and they stand very close, try to stay relaxed. At the same time, if someone steps back while you're talking. "Hello, my name is Jenny. I am a student of English literature. This is my story. I want to tell you about my life in London. I want to tell you about my fantastic teacher. You can read my story and learn English with me. It is a beautiful day of summers. I am traveling on a train. 2 women are on the train with me. The women are sitting opposite me. They are speaking English. I don't understand much. I am studying English, but I am a beginner. I don't know many words. I begun speaking to the women. I said some words in basic English. The women understood what I wanted to say. And that made me happy. I said that I want to learn English. The women told me that they are from England. They are going home from a conference. Our conversation was 10 minutes long. The next station was my station. I said goodbye. The women gave me their address and phone number. They told me that they wanted to talk to me. They told me that I can visit them in England. Then we said goodbye. After this meeting, I worked on my English every day. I translated texts and watched films in English. In 6 months, my English was improved. It was good now, but I wanted to learn more. I went to London. I wanted to study English. I wanted to study English from London. When I was in London, I joined school. My first lesson was on Monday. I met my teacher and other students in the class. My teacher was a young and fine lady. She was very nice and humble. We introduced ourselves and then proceeded with the lesson. Our teacher has a question for us. She wanted to know our general knowledge about the language. Our teacher told that she can teach through a very effective method to learn English. This method was very simple. Our teacher tells us that we would not have to study. We won't have to read textbooks, but we would have to use English a lot in our daily lives. It turned out very effective for me. I did not like studying from the textbooks because they confused me. Then we spoke about what is important when we learned a new language. Our teacher told us, language is a purpose and a mode for communication. We need languages to communicate. Languages help us to express ideas and thoughts. So when you learn a new language, the best method is to use the language to express our feelings and to communication with other people as well. And this is what we will do in our course. We will speak and make use of English language a lot. Many students try to remember new words. They also study grammar rules. And these students don't use English for speaking. They study about the language, but they don't use the language. There is a difference. Of course, you need to learn new words and grammar. But you don't have to study them. You need to practice them on daily basis. In this course, I wanted to show a very simple and effective method on how to learn vocabulary and grammar. I like what our teacher says. Our lesson continues. We spoke about our hobbies and what we like to do in our time. We spoke in pairs. I enjoyed taking classes. I am really happy. This system of learning turned out to be very good and effective for me. Chapter 2: How I Learned Vocabulary. I went to school on Tuesday again. One of the students asked the question, which was interesting for me. She asked, "What is the best way to learn new words?" Our teacher told, "There are many things you can do to learn new words. I will tell you what is statistically the most effective way for learning new words. It is reading. When people read, they learn new words of their language. They learn twice as fast as people who don't read. It is good to read for at least 30 minutes every day. I want to show you what you should do if you want to get the maximum profit from reading. It is very important that the book or text which you read is interesting for you. It is important that you enjoy reading the book. The book can be a nice story, or it can be fictional or non-fictional, whatever your interest is for the book. Don't read the text which isn't interesting for you. When you don't know many words, you can get frustrated. You always want to enjoy everything you do while using the language. It is effective to choose a text which is interesting and also okay for your level. When you read the text and you see a word which you don't understand, you should take a dictionary and find the word in the dictionary. Then you would look at its meaning. This will make better understanding of the text, and your knowledge for the text will be increased. You won't have to write the word anywhere. The word will automatically get locked in your brain, and you will always remember its meaning wherever you will see this word again. Every time when there is a new word for you, you will do the same. Reading also has another great advantage. When you read, you learn new words, and you also learn how each word is connected to other words in the sentence. You can see how to link the words correctly. This way of learning new words is very effective. Try it, and you will see how fast you can learn new words. Then we continue with the lesson. We speak about the situation in England, and about the best jobs for students. This is good for me, because I want to get a job. I want to do something in my spare time after school. I asked other students if they know that from where I can find a job. I said, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't offers a lot of jobs, especially for students. This is good for me. I am happy that I know from where I can find a job. When my day at school was over, I went to the job center. I did not know what job I could do, so I asked the lady at the job center, what is the best job for a student? The lady told me that they have some good jobs for students. She told me that I can be a cleaner or a waitress in a cafe. I told the lady that I have no experience with these jobs. She told me that my English is good enough to work at the cafe. The training was not difficult. And I can have more chances to speak English than being a cleaner. She told me that I can start my job on Thursday. It is all good for me. I am happy that I have a job where I can practice English. When you want to learn new words, effectively read for 30 minutes every day. On Wednesday, I went to school again. There is one student in the class who is more quiet than the others. He is very quiet. He is very quiet. He is very quiet. He is very quiet. When our teacher asked if we had any questions for her, this student from Korea said that he has a question. He said that he has a big problem with pronunciation. He knew that his pronunciation is not very good, but you did not know how to improve it. He doesn't speak much because he others to listen to his bad pronunciation. He said that he reads and watches films in English a lot. He understands very well, but he also wants to improve speaking. He asked if there is something he could do to be better at pronunciation. When my teacher heard this, she said, "Okay, I will tell you something about pronunciation and how to practice it. I will also teach you techniques which can help all of you to become better at pronunciation. First, we have to look at why students have problem with pronunciation. When we speak, we have to move our mouth. We have to use muscles in our mouth. We all do that. The problem is that when you speak English, sometimes you use your muscles the same way you would use them in your native language. Then, your pronunciation is different from the pronunciation of native speakers. This happens to many students to learn English. Almost everybody has a little different pronunciation than they should have. In fact, it is not just the pronunciation of native speakers. It is the pronunciation of native speakers. It is not a big problem, because usually people understand what you want to say, even if your pronunciation is not perfect. However, You can work on your pronunciation and make it better by a great technique, which can help you a lot. The name of this technique is shadowing. The technique is very simple. When you do shadowing, you simply copy the sound which you hear. When children learn their first language, they learn it by copying. They copy after their parents again and again, and one day, their pronunciation becomes perfect. If you can learn English pronunciation the same way, this is what you can do. You take some videos or audios recording, which you can use to learn the pronunciation of native speakers. It is not very fast, and which you can understand very well. You listen, and you copy what you hear when you hear it. That is all. Then our teacher went to www.youtube.com, and she searches for the shadowing technique. She found good videos where the shadowing technique was very well. We watched the video. Then we all tried to do shadowing for about 3 minutes. Then our teacher told us, shadowing is also good when you are preparing for presentation in English, and you want to have good pronunciation. Before the presentation, you can go to some place where you are alone, and you can do shadowing for about 10 minutes. You will see how much it will help you to have better pronunciation during the presentation. This was very interesting for me. Before when the lesson finished, I went to the school reception. I asked the lady if there are any sport activities at school. I would like to do some sport in England. The lady at the reception says yes, we have a table tennis team and a football team. The football team has training today at 5 o'clock. I was very happy because sport is very important in my life. I went to the training of the football team. I met a lot of players from different countries. The players are from Brazil, Japan, Russia, Spain, Argentina and Italy. I liked the training. I was very happy. At my time in England started well. I have a great teacher. I also have some new friends from my football team. Also tomorrow I am starting my job as well. When you want to have a good pronunciation, repeat after native speakers. On Thursday I went to school again. We had new students the end of the week. My name is Elizabeth and she is from Italy. At the beginning of the lesson my teacher asked Elizabeth some questions. My teacher knows Elizabeth because Elizabeth visited her class 1 year ago. It was a class for beginners and it was only for 2 weeks during summer holiday. She speaks beautifully. Her pronunciation is very good, and she is fluent. My teacher was very happy, and she told Elizabeth, your school in Italy must be very good. Elizabeth says, I don't go to any school. I learn English at home. I use techniques that I learn from you. I do a lot of reading, shadowing, and thinking aloud. I try to think more in English than in Italian. This is how I work on my English. The 2 weeks which I spent last summer at your class helped me a lot. You showed me the way. I know how to work on my English every day. This is why I wanted to learn English. I want to join your class again. Because 1 year ago, I was beginner, and now I can speak English. I want to learn from you again. My teacher was very happy when she heard these words. She appreciated Elizabeth for her hard work. It is all very interesting for me. I already know about reading. I also know the shadowing technique. But Elizabeth also speaks about thinking aloud. I don't know what it is. So I asked our teacher, what is thinking aloud? Our teacher replied, it is a very effective technique. You have to have a strong motivation to learn English if you want to have benefits from this technique. It is also good to know that for some people, reading is a very important skill. It is also good to know that for some people, reading is a very important skill. It is also good that for some people, this technique is a little crazy. But when you start to think aloud, your English can be better very fast. I said, I have a strong motivation. I don't care if the technique is crazy. If it helps, I want to learn it. Can you teach us this technique? It is actually a very simple. You think in your native language all day, every time. It is normal. Now, you can start to think in English. And when you start to think in English, then you can think aloud. You simply say aloud what you think. It is all. I say, it is very simple. Why is it very effective? Our teacher says, maybe you can ask aloud. Elizabeth, she uses this technique. Maybe she can tell you more about this technique. Then our teacher asked Elizabeth if it is okay for her to speak about experience with thinking aloud. It is not a problem for Elizabeth. She said, when I started with this technique, it wasn't easy. I started with very simple sentences. For example, I can speak English. It is good that I can speak English. I want to be better. I need to practice every day. I don't know many words. But I can use these words. I can say my ideas with these words. I can do this. This is great. The sentences were really simple. But at the beginning, there was one problem. My thinking in Italian was long and complicated. I was not able to say in English exactly. But I said in Italian. I needed to find a simpler form for English. To think in simple English was the hardest part. But after some time, it was normal for me to think in English. Then something interesting happened. I met a man from Australia. He was on holiday in Italy. I was still a beginner. But we started to speak English. I could see that I was able to speak with him without having problems. My sentences were simple and short. But I was able to speak. I didn't translate in my head from Italian to English. After the meeting with the man from Australia, I started to use thinking aloud more. This technique helped me a lot with my speaking. I still use it every day. It is really a very effective technique. Our teacher thanked Elizabeth for her experience with thinking aloud. I wanted to use this technique because I also wanted to get better at speaking. When you want to speak English fluently, think aloud. I want to give you an extra advice. When you want to learn English, read, listen, think, and speak. Do each activity for 40 minutes every day. You can read, listen, and speak.